You know, it's sort of weird, but it's like just wondering how many years. Well, many years. I don't think any of the judges, lawyers, politicians, anyone that's professional, anyone that's succeeded in life in many ways, family, career, friends, I don't know, all the ways that people would normally, I guess, succeed, right? I guess it's just hard to understand why I can't, I'm in court right now, so they won't even talk about my job in the Navy. There's so many goddamn reports about it, about it being an experiment. They coveted money so much. They undermanned a combat ship or two, a handful of them. They were trying to save money. It's in the congressional records. They say the major experiment. You're a seaman in the Navy, which I've been doing so much research, but John Adams, one of our first presidents, 1798, created the Seaman Disability Act, which covered the Navy as well, because it covered merchant seamen, guys on the ship, and then also Navy guys, because they were building the Navy. Created hospitals for them, etc. This is 1798. It's the 5th Congress, I believe. You can find it online. The Seaman Disability Act or something like that. But it's part of our history, part of the world human history, to protect guys, girls, whatever, just humans, from losing and being injured and ill, and not being protected, right, from jobs that otherwise benefit their own society. Well, I guess that's the military, right? And it's just amazing to me that, I've been denied so many times. They never helped me at all. Never one day where they just came out and said, here it is. This is 18 I was 18 when I joined. It's just amazing, dude. I'm here alone. I'm all right. It sucks, because I think most people would really kill themselves. I honestly think that most people would literally kill themselves. It's that painful. It's that sad, It's that loss. It's that destructive. It's that fucking curse, fucking sickness, that debilitating, I don't know if you could do torture is the right word, but yeah, torture. When I was doing it, when I was young, it was painful. It was numbing. Imagine a bully. You might say you don't want to get your ass kicked, and the bully's at school, right? And maybe you got your ass kicked, I don't know, and he's there. But regardless, what if the Navy and the Navy ship was a bully that you had to meet every month for years, and it kicked your ass and threw you around, made you feel ill, took your soul, and hurt your body, made you stress out, took all your attention, and so it affected my mom. My mom's passed away now. I can't ask her. I didn't even talk about the Navy. The Navy was very fucking it was terrible. It was beyond terrible. It was speechless. It's so terrible that I tried to forget it. It was empty. I think Satan, the devil, the darkness, would create such a situation. They manned the ship with me as a reservist, an 18-year-old reservist. I took an active duty billet, a full-time billet. Normally, for the history of the Navy, they would man that ship with active duty guys, full-time guys, for obvious reasons. It's a dangerous position. And they said, oh, you're 18, you're in the National Guard of the Navy, the equivalent of the National Guard in the Army, but in the Navy. We're going to put you on an active duty ship with no training. You're going to learn everything part-time. And you want to go to college. Here's your $10, whatever, it's like $100 a month to go to college to be an officer. I mean, it's sort of little, a couple $100 a month to go to college. Back then, oh man, I'm 18. I didn't know what I was looking at. Couldn't think straight in a few years. I tried to join the Army. I was hurting. I got to get out of this. This is a stranglehold. Literally, I was dying. These motherfuckers did not care. Of course, the military does humanitarian missions all around the globe. Congress funds it all. There's 3 branches of government. And I've only learned this because you can see the Constitution behind me. I'm learning about it. I swore an oath to defend it at 18. Imagine. They say that's a kid, right? Very aware. Most people will say 18's still a kid. Oh yeah, you're an adult. Definitely, I could sign that contract. But adults made that contract, and the government, like judges, I'm talking federal judges, been in front of a few judges, can't put the connection together. How abusive, oppressive, or outright delirious or illegal it should be to ignore these facts, these connections. They maybe it's because they never experienced it, or they don't want to acknowledge it and solve it. They use excuses. They even use the Ferris doctrine, F-E-R-E-S, against me, which means that if you're in the military and you claim you got injured by some negligence, and it could be any negligence. I claimed administrative error, and it was about my medical records. They didn't transfer them by instruction. It's an instruction. I found it. They even acknowledged it. Like, they kept my Navy Army transfer paperwork in a separate database. My Navy Army transfer to get out of the Navy, completely resigned. I couldn't resign completely. I did transfer my contract to, I found out I could do that if I went to the Army, and I tried, because I'm like, I'm out of here, guys. You fucking killing me. Fuck this shit. 22 years old, dude. Tell me a lawyer, tell me president, tell me a judge who went through anything similar to that. No, they're all making a shit ton of money. They have careers. They've succeeded in the American dream. Have they sweated? Were they in boot camp? Were they in a contract? They could resign from their job if they don't want it. They could get another job somewhere. There's so much. For me, I was pitching pennies. They undermanned the ship. The reserve pay is only the hours you're there. Not active duty pay is, when you got your off time, what they would call, they work a lot more than I did on the ship, but they also get like leave and liberty and whatever. So they got paid for that. All the off time on the ship, they got paid for. I didn't get paid for the off time on the ship. I wasn't there as much, but I was there every month, and I was there for weeks, months, days, hours, just whatever, just different time chunks. It was like an independent contractor almost, and that's another thing I'm analyzing is like, there is no part-time job like that with a contract like that. I could not leave once I signed it, and that's unlike any other. You'll never see a contract, civilian world, or in the federal government like FBI, CIA, anyone that can't leave their job. They can all resign, right? But they made a slim minority contract for these young kids, me, 18, patriotic, I want to protect everyone, do the right thing, join the military, a few questions asked, they want to be an officer, and just wanted to come out of the gates blazing, make the biggest choices I could at the earliest age, to show my mom that I was going the right direction, My dad wasn't around, and that's the other part. I was the son of a veteran the whole time. And we know about Vietnam. I'm the son of a Vietnam combat vet, right? And I never got $1 support from the government for the injuries of my father in Vietnam, psychiatric and otherwise. He started dealing with it to the point where he couldn't raise me, Of course, in normal society, you can abdicate duty. They can defer to someone else. They can try to run from any liability. It seems like very much a normal thing, right? Injuring someone, but it was them. That they know the liability. They can get away with a certain amount of liability. They know they can defer and distract or whatever, but they can hire illegals on their house to do painting or whatever, just to save money. It's always about the money in our society. Or they, and then, but in the military sense, they can contract you, in a job that you can't leave. And they made these reserve enlistments, which were created, I found out through all my research, after the end of the draft was discontinued because of Vietnam. In 1973, I believe, they created this total force, a new Department of Defense doctrine called the total force. Total force meaning the active duty would be the size, maybe smaller than normal, but they would have a lot more reserved enlistments. Basically, they're going to make the reserve the new draft. Meaning you're going to have all these enlistments with part-time guys, kids that are 18, gonna go to boot camp, and then they're gonna learn everything, the fundamentals. They're gonna be fully indoctrinated, and then they're just gonna sit by 24/7 on call, keep their hair nice and clean. You have to show up every month and do whatever you're told, but in my case, and that would be for years, and you can't leave that job. So you're just there on the sidelines waiting for whatever. And then they started really using that total force. They said, "No, you're going to start augmenting the active duty guys. We're going to start blending you guys," and then which is an odd thing. Which they just started, because it was all about, they're going to squeeze labor out of you. Like they have this bird budget system where like, oh yeah, this guy gave they got these guys they used to have, like, I guess what it was, total force. They're like, oh, they would keep them separate, and because they realized that they made the contracts without, like, with all these limitations on on if you're a veteran or not. They sent me a denial letter at the VA saying that I didn't do 2 years of active duty over those 8 years that I had that contract, meaning they were in control of me never getting the 2 years, never gave me orders for 2 years, beating me the shit for, like, when I was assigned to the ship, all part-time, and then never gave a shit if it injured me or nothing. And the contract was written like that, created by, I guess, Congress. Who would think Congress appropriates the money? But here you got like, who the fuck is in charge of this system? Who takes any responsibility is the right word, or try to quickly help you, right? Well, anyways, I'm just trying my best, man. I'm trying to put all these dots together.